Hello, everyone, and welcome to ESL Podcast. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Mark. We're really glad you're here with us today.
On this podcast, we talk about real English in a simple, relaxed way. You just listen, and the language slowly becomes yours.
And today's episode is a little different. Today, there are no methods, no exercises, no rules to remember. Today's episode is for one specific person.
The person who's tired. The person who has studied English for months or years and lately keeps thinking the quiet, heavy thought. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe I'm not good at languages. Maybe I should just stop.
If that's you, even a little bit, this episode is yours. Because we're going to show you, with real science and real stories, why that feeling is lying to you and why you are almost certainly much closer than you think.
We have some of the most encouraging research in all of language science today. What your brain is secretly building while you feel stuck. Why adults are far better learners than the internet says. And what your English is already doing for your health, right now, this minute.
Plus, 3 warm idioms that native speakers use to lift each other up, and 5 small sentences we hope you'll carry with you long after this episode ends.
So get comfortable. This one is less of a lesson and more of a hand on your shoulder.
And if you enjoy this kind of episode, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It takes 1 second and it genuinely keeps this podcast alive.
All right, Mark. One question before we begin. Be honest. How many times have you almost quit English?
Almost quit? 3 big times. 1 small daily time, usually around Tuesday, and 1 time, not almost, I actually quit for a year.
And today you record an English podcast, joke in English, and sometimes dream in English.
Which means every one of those quitting moments was wrong about me. Every single one. And that's the whole message of today, before we even start.
The quitting feeling has a terrible track record. Okay, let's start with the feeling itself. The wall. Tell them about your year at the wall.
The wall. Okay. This story is not fun, but it's true, and someone out there needs it. A few years into learning English, long before America, I hit a wall. And the strange part is, nothing bad happened. I just stopped feeling progress. I studied, I watched, I listened, and my English felt exactly the same. Week after week. Same mistakes, same missing words, same level.
The plateau, the famous, hated plateau.
And here's what the plateau does to your head. Slowly, quietly, it starts telling you a story. You've reached your limit. Some people have the language talent and you don't. All this time was wasted. And that story feels so logical because look, here's the evidence. Months of work and no visible change.
And how close did you come to quitting?
I stopped for almost a year, Rachel. I believed the story. And that year is the only part of my English journey I truly regret. Not the slow parts, the stopped part.
So let's take that story apart, piece by piece, because science has looked at this exact feeling, and the findings are honestly beautiful. Here's the first thing every tired learner needs to know. The plateau is not a stop. It's a construction site.
Explain that, because it changed how I see everything.
Language growth doesn't happen in a smooth line. It happens in steps. Flat, 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 jump. Flat, flat, jump. And during the flat parts, the parts that feel like nothing, your brain is doing enormous invisible work. It's organizing, connecting new words to old words, sorting grammar into patterns, moving language from slow storage into fast storage.
Like a warehouse after a big delivery. From outside, the building looks quiet. Inside, workers are running around with boxes all night.
That's exactly it. The delivery already happened. All those episodes you listened to, all those words you met, they're in the building. The flat weeks are the sorting. And the jump, the day everything suddenly feels easier, that's the moment the shelves click into place. But here's the cruel joke of the plateau. It feels identical to failure. Quiet outside, no visible change. Learners can't see the warehouse workers, so they think the building is empty.
And they walk away from a full warehouse. That's what I did for a year.
And nature has a famous version of this exact story. Have you heard about the Chinese bamboo?
Tell it, because this story deserves to be famous among language learners.
So, certain kinds of bamboo do something incredible. You plant the seed, you water it, you care for it. First year, nothing visible. Second year, nothing. Third year, still just ground. Years of watering with nothing to show. Anyone watching would say the plant is dead and the farmer is a fool.
And then,
And then, when it finally breaks the surface, the bamboo can grow many meters in just a few weeks. It shoots up so fast you can almost watch it. From nothing to a tree, in weeks.
but it wasn't from nothing.
That's the whole point. All those invisible years, the bamboo was growing roots. A massive underground root system, strong enough to support and feed that explosive growth. The years weren't empty. They were the foundation. Without the root years, the tall weeks are impossible.
So the learner on the plateau, listening and studying with nothing to show, is growing roots. And the people who quit in year 2 aren't quitting a dead plant. They're quitting a bamboo, right before the sky.
Right before the sky. And that's why this episode exists. So let's fill that image with real science. Because your brain during the root weeks isn't just busy, it's doing some of the best work of your life. But first, our first idiom, because it belongs right here. Hang in there.
Hang in there. What's the picture behind it?
Imagine someone holding onto a branch or the edge of something, and you're telling them, don't let go, hold on, help is coming, hang in there. As an idiom, it means keep going, don't give up, this hard part will pass.
And Americans say this constantly, right? It's everywhere.
Constantly. It might be the #1 encouragement phrase in the language. A friend has a hard week? Hang in there, it'll get better. A student before exams? Hang in there, almost done. Even on posters with a little cat holding onto a rope. Hang in there, baby. That poster is a whole piece of American culture.
I've seen the cat. The cat is very motivating.
The cat has kept whole offices alive. And the beautiful thing about hang in there is what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, work harder, do more. It just says, stay, hold on, remain, which on the plateau is truly the whole job.
Hang in there. Not run faster, just don't let go of the branch.
One more time. Hang in there. Keep going, this part passes. Consider it said, from us, to every tired learner listening right now. Now the science of not giving up. And we start with one of the most famous findings in all of learning research. Scientists studied thousands of students, kids and adults, and they noticed that people carry one of 2 quiet beliefs about ability.
2 beliefs.
Belief 1. Ability is fixed. You're born with a certain amount of language talent, or math talent, or music talent, and that's your limit. Belief 2. Ability grows. Skills are built by effort, like muscles, and your current level is just your current level, not your ceiling.
The fixed mind and the growing mind.
And here's the stunning part. The belief itself changes the results. In study after study, learners who believed abilities grow actually improved more. Same classrooms, same materials, different belief, different outcomes. And the reason is simple and human. The 2 beliefs hear failure completely differently.
Walk us through that. A learner makes a mistake or hits our famous plateau. What happens in each mind?
The fixed mind hears a verdict. See? Told you. No talent. Time to quit and stop embarrassing yourself. But the growing mind hears information. Okay, that's where my edge is. That's what needs more repetitions. The exact same mistake. One mind reads the end of the story, the other reads a page in the middle.
And the plateau story I believed, the one about reaching my limit, that was pure fixed mind.
Pure fixed mind. And here's the tool the researchers gave the world, and I love it because it's just one word. Yet. When you catch yourself saying, I can't speak English well, add the word yet. I can't speak English well, yet. I don't understand movies, yet.
One little word, and the sentence changes from a wall into a door.
That's exactly what it does. The sentence stays honest. You really can't do it today. But now it has a future inside it. And the research says minds that talk this way genuinely learn more. Your brain listens to how you describe yourself.
I can't do it yet. The most scientific 3 words a learner can say.
Now, a gentle exercise in honesty. Because tired learners have a memory problem. They forget where they started.
Oh, this is so true, it hurts. When you're stuck, you only measure the distance to the goal. Fluent is over there, far away, and every day it looks just as far.
And you never turn around. So let's turn around, right now, together. Think about yourself when you started English. That person, on day one. Could that person understand this podcast? 30 minutes of real English, native speed on many words, jokes, idioms?
Not a chance. Day one me would have understood hello and then politely panicked for 29 minutes.
And look at you now. You're not translating this sentence, you're just hearing it. Somewhere along the way, hundreds of words quietly moved in and made themselves at home. Grammar that used to be a puzzle became invisible. You did that. It happened so gradually that nobody threw you a party, but it happened.
The progress didn't announce itself. Real progress almost never does. It just quietly becomes normal, and then we forget it was ever hard.
That's exactly the trap. The things you've mastered stop counting in your own eyes because now they feel easy. So your score always looks like 0, when actually you're carrying years of wins that just stopped feeling like wins.
So the honest measurement is never how far to fluent. It's how far from day one. Compare yourself to your own beginning, and suddenly the picture is full of progress.
And if your memory refuses to believe it, there's usually written evidence, old messages. If you've been learning for a while, somewhere in your phone or your email, there are English sentences you wrote a year or two ago.
Oh, I've done this archaeology. I found messages from my early English years, and Rachel, reading them was like meeting a sweet, confused stranger. This man was fighting for his life in every sentence. Beautiful effort, chaotic grammar, and so many wrong words that were almost right.
And what did that stranger prove to you?
Distance. Reading those old messages, I couldn't deny the distance anymore. My feelings said no progress, but there it was, in writing, with timestamps. The feelings were simply wrong, and the evidence won.
That's why the look back matters so much. Feelings measure today's frustration. Evidence measures the actual road. Your only fair competitor is the you from day one. And listeners, that comparison, you win it. You're winning it right now just by following this conversation. Quick checkpoint because this is the middle of the episode, and the middle is exactly where our 5 golden sentences belong. Today they're not phrases for stores or offices. They're sentences to say to yourself, each one for a specific hard moment. When you look back at where you started, say, I've come a long way.
When a mistake stings, say, I'm still learning, and that's okay.
When the week felt flat and small, say, slow progress is still progress.
When something is still too hard, say the honest version with a future inside. I can't do it yet.
And on the tired evenings, the quiet promise, I'll get there. Hold them gently. They'll come back at the end, and we hope they'll stay with you much longer than that. Idiom number 2, the light at the end of the tunnel.
The light at the end of the tunnel. This one paints its own picture.
It really does. You're in a long, dark tunnel, and far ahead you finally see a small light. The exit exists. As an idiom, it means the first sign that a long, hard period is going to end. After months of work, we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
So it's for long journeys, big projects, difficult years, and definitely language learning.
Exactly. She's finishing her degree next spring. She can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Or, the project was brutal, but there's light at the end of the tunnel now. And notice something kind about this idiom. You say it while you're still in the tunnel. Still in the dark, still walking, but with proof that the dark ends.
And in English learning, what does the light look like? Because I remember mine.
Tell them.
The first joke I understood in real time. Everyone laughed, and I laughed with them. Not after them, not politely, but because it was funny. And walking home, I thought, that's it. That's the light. The tunnel has an end, and I just saw it glowing.
That's a beautiful light. For someone else, it's the first phone call that just works, or the first movie without subtitles, or understanding this episode. Small lights, all of them real. One more time. The light at the end of the tunnel, the sign that the hard part will end. Keep walking. The tunnel is shorter than it feels. And now, my favorite part of this episode. Because everything so far was about reaching the goal. But here's a secret. Even before you reach anything, learning English is already paying you. In brain health. Real, measurable brain health.
This is the research that genuinely amazed me. Go.
Scientists have spent years studying people who use two languages, and the findings are remarkable. Managing two languages is a constant workout for the brain. Every time you search for a word, switch between languages, or hold both in your head, your brain's control systems are lifting weights. Focus, attention, switching between tasks. Bilingual brains train these muscles all day just by existing.
So a person learning English is doing brain fitness, even when the English itself feels slow and clumsy.
Especially then. The struggle is the workout. And here's the finding that made headlines around the world. Researchers studying older adults found that people who spent their lives using two languages showed the symptoms of age-related memory diseases years later than people with one language. Years. On average, around 4 to 5 years later.
4 to 5 years. That's not a small vitamin. That's one of the biggest protective effects science has found for an everyday activity.
It's right up there with exercise. The two languages seem to build what scientists call reserve, a stronger, more connected brain that can resist damage longer. And you don't need to be perfect for this. The benefit comes from the using, the switching, the effort itself.
So every learner listening right now needs to hear this clearly. Every one of your study sessions has already paid you, even the ones that felt useless. The vocabulary you forgot? The workout still happened. The conversation that went badly? The brain still trained.
There are no wasted sessions. In language learning, even the failures pay. Your English journey is quietly building you a stronger brain for your 70s and 80s, starting today.
Suddenly my year of quitting looks even worse. I paused my brain gym membership.
Haha, the membership reactivated the moment you came back. It always does. And the benefits aren't only for your 70s, by the way. Studies find bilingual people, including learners, tend to be better at focusing in noisy environments, better at switching between tasks, and better at seeing problems from more than one angle.
Because that's literally what we practice all day. Two languages in one head means constant sorting. Which word? Which language? Which listener? The brain becomes a very fit traffic controller.
A very fit traffic controller, exactly. And there's one more warm benefit worth naming. Perspective. Every language carries slightly different ways of seeing. Learners live in two of them. Research aside, ask anyone with two languages and they'll tell you. The world simply has more colors with two windows to look through.
More colors, better focus, and a stronger brain for decades. All from the thing you were about to quit because of one flat month.
When you put it that way, the flat month looks very small. Which brings us to something important, because motivation episodes can accidentally create pressure, and that's the opposite of our goal. So let's say this clearly. Being tired is allowed. Resting is allowed.
This distinction saved me the second time I got exhausted. The difference between resting and quitting.
Walk us through it, because you learned it the hard way.
Resting is, this week I'm tired, so I'll just listen to easy English and skip the hard work. Or even, this month English is only music and one podcast episode. The connection stays alive, but the pressure goes to zero. Quitting is different. Quitting is cutting the connection completely and telling yourself the story that it's over.
And the difference in results is enormous. Rest keeps the warehouse workers on the job. Everything you built stays warm, and coming back is easy because you never really left. Quitting lets the building go cold, and worse, it installs that fixed mind story, I tried and I failed, which makes returning 10 times harder.
So on the hard weeks, shrink instead of stopping. We've talked about tiny steps on this podcast before, and this is where they shine brightest. One song, 1 minute. This one episode on the sofa counts completely.
It counts completely. Listening to us right now, tired, half-focused, is a real session. The connection is alive, the workers are working. Be gentle with yourself and stay connected. That's the whole assignment on hard weeks. And while we're being honest about tired days, one more piece of science, because it flips how most people think about motivation. Most people believe motivation comes first. I'll wait until I feel motivated, and then I'll study.
The famous waiting room. I've spent months in that waiting room. Motivation rarely shows up there.
Because, and researchers who study behavior confirm this again and again, the arrow mostly points the other way. Action creates motivation, not the reverse. Feelings follow behavior. You start tiny, with zero motivation, and a few minutes in, interest quietly arrives. The appetite comes with the eating, as the old saying goes.
I know this one from real life so well. 1,000 evenings I did not want to press play on an English episode. Zero desire. And then I pressed play anyway, and 10 minutes later I was interested, and by the end I was glad. The wanting showed up after the starting, almost every time.
Because starting is the hard part, and feelings are lazy. They wait to see if you're serious. So, on the days with no motivation, don't wait for it. Start microscopically and let the motivation catch up to you mid-episode.
Don't wait for the wave. Start paddling and the wave finds you. Rest if you need to. Shrink if you need to. Just don't cut the wire.
Our third idiom is a small, physical instruction with a big, warm heart. Keep your chin up.
The chin. This part of the face. Why the chin?
Picture sadness for a second. When people feel defeated, the head drops, the eyes go to the floor, the chin falls to the chest. And when people feel strong, the head is level, the chin is up, the eyes look forward. So, keep your chin up means stay hopeful, stay strong, don't let this defeat you.
So it's what you say to someone going through a hard time.
Exactly. A friend didn't get the job. Keep your chin up, something better is coming. Kids after losing a game. Chin up, team, you played great. You can even say just the short version, chin up, with a little smile, and it carries the whole message.
And it's gentle, which I like. It doesn't demand happiness. It just asks you not to fold.
That's beautifully put. It's not, cheer up, be happy. It's, stand like someone whose story isn't over. Because it isn't. One more time. Keep your chin up. Stay hopeful, head level, eyes forward. Chin up, learners. You're doing better than you think. Before the review, the two heavy questions, the ones people ask us with that quiet voice. Question 1. Am I simply too old for this? Kids learn languages so easily. Maybe I missed my window.
The age question. It stops so many people before they start, and it haunted me too. Give us the real science.
The real science is much kinder than the myth. Researchers have tested language learning across every age, and here's the honest picture. Children win clearly at exactly one thing: accent. Start as a small child and you'll likely sound native. That window is real. But everything else? Vocabulary, grammar, understanding, expressing ideas? Adults learn these well, and in many studies, adults actually learn faster than children in the first years, because adults have superpowers kids don't.
Superpowers. List them, please, for every adult listening.
Discipline. Reading skills. A first language full of patterns to connect to. Life experience that makes context obvious. A child hears a business meeting and understands nothing. You hear one and understand the situation before the words. Adults learn on top of an entire built life. Kids are building from grass.
So the honest answer to "Am I too old?" is,
You've missed the perfect accent window, and nothing else. Fluent communication, rich vocabulary, real conversations, understanding movies, all fully open at 30, 50, 70. People have reached fluency at every age on the calendar. The window for everything that matters never closes.
and I have living proof in my own family circle. A family friend started English seriously at 58 because her grandchildren were growing up in Canada. At 58, from almost zero.
And today?
Today she argues with those grandchildren in English, watches her shows without subtitles, and last year she told me, with a completely straight face, that my accent needs work.
58 to grandma level fluency, with time to correct your accent. I love her already. So let's retire the too old story forever. The research says no, and the grandmothers say no.
Question 2. And this one is mine to answer because I lived it. What if I've studied for years and I'm still not fluent? Doesn't that prove something is wrong with me?
Take this one, Mark.
Here's what I learned. First, check what you're calling fluent. If fluent means zero mistakes and native perfection, then no one I know is fluent, including some people born in America. Real fluency is communication. Can you understand, connect, express, laugh, work? That target is so much closer than perfection. Many learners chasing perfect have been fluent for years and never noticed.
Because they measured against a finish line that doesn't exist.
And second, years of studying are never evidence against you. They're your foundation. All of it is in the warehouse, sorted and waiting. The learners who finally break through aren't starting over. They're the ones who stayed connected long enough for all those years to click together. Your years aren't proof you can't. They're the reason you're about to.
Your years are the reason you're about to. That's the sentence of this episode. Okay, let's review the language of this episode, one piece at a time, nice and slow.
First, a plateau, the flat period when progress seems to stop. And now we know its secret. The plateau is a construction site. Flat outside, building inside.
To give up, to stop trying, to quit. The phrase this whole episode stands against. Don't give up. And its gentle cousin, to keep going. Continue, even slowly.
Progress, movement toward a goal. Remember, real progress is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It just slowly becomes normal.
Yet, the one-word door. I can't understand movies. Yet. The most scientific word in a learner's vocabulary.
To look back, to remember where you started. The honest measurement. Day 1, you couldn't follow this episode. Today, you're doing it easily.
Reserve. The extra strength your brain builds from using 2 languages. The gift your English is giving your future self, worth years of brain health.
Now the idioms. Idiom 1. Hang in there. Keep going. Hold on. The hard part passes. Hang in there. It gets better.
Idiom 2. The light at the end of the tunnel. The first sign that a long, hard period will end. I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
And idiom 3. Keep your chin up. Stay hopeful and strong. Head level. Story unfinished. Chin up. Something better is coming.
And now our 5 golden sentences, the ones to say to yourself, every one of them scientifically honest. For the look back. I've come a long way.
For the stinging mistake. I'm still learning, and that's okay.
For the flat week. Slow progress is still progress.
For the thing that's still too hard. I can't do it yet. And remember, yet is a door.
And for the tired evenings. I'll get there. One more time, gently, just the sentences. I've come a long way. I'm still learning, and that's okay. Slow progress is still progress. I can't do it yet. I'll get there.
If one of those sentences shows up on a hard evening this month, standing between you and quitting, then this episode did the most important job we have. Let's bring it all together, nice and short.
The plateau is not your limit. It's a construction site. Flat weeks are your brain sorting the warehouse, and the jump always comes to those who stay.
Your beliefs are equipment. The fixed mind hears mistakes as verdicts. The growing mind hears them as information. Add yet to your sentences, and walls become doors.
Measure backward, not just forward. Compare yourself to day 1, and you'll see how much you've already won, including understanding this entire episode.
Your English is already paying you. Every session, even the failed ones, is brain training, building reserve that protects you for decades. There are no wasted days.
Rest is allowed. Shrink the habit on hard weeks, keep the connection alive, and never confuse being tired with being finished.
And you are not too old. The only closed window is a perfect accent. Everything that actually matters, understanding, connecting, living in English, stays open your whole life.
You've come a long way. The tunnel has a light. Hang in there.
Chin up, everyone. We'll get there together.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you for spending this time with us, especially if today was one of the tired days.
If this episode helped you even a little, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And maybe remember it exists for some future hard evening. It'll be here.
Take care of yourself, keep listening, and be as kind to yourself as you would be to a friend learning your language. Because think about how you'd treat that friend. You'd notice every bit of their progress. You'd tell them their mistakes are charming. You'd never, ever tell them to quit.
Be that friend to yourself. Slow progress is still progress. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Hang in there, everyone. Bye.